come to the Persian culture semiotic perspective. It's the seventh session. Time flies. And it's also 20 minutes past 6. Please don't ask your question just here right now. There's 45 people. 20 people asking each one. 1 minute is 20 minutes gone.
Well, you have to ask the question.
So today we're gonna number one do recapitulation, because there are some points we didn't really talk enough about it. We forgot to talk about it, or we went too fast. So we want to talk about and finish some unfinished job. Secondly, we're going to talk not long but shortly about Persian. I don't know how to pronounce this. Farsi. So I do put the accent to make it ah. Farsi, Dari or Deri, Tajik or Tajik, Farsi or Farsi, and what else? We're going to talk about it in English, actually. So, actually, this shouldn't be here, but here we are. That should be somewhere else. What we're going to say today is it all comes to Persian in English. So Farsi, Dari, Tajik, all comes to Persian. All the rest, in my opinion, are to confuse you, to keep humanity in confusion, in division, in conflict. And I hope everybody here knows what means humanity. Can someone explain? Thank you.
It's humans plus feminism.
Yes, humanity. Feminism and humanism. Or femininity and masculinity and humanity. We need a word, W-O-R-D, that have both of these concepts together, not separate from each other. It makes a huge difference. Something we forgot to talk about. If you can read this, thank a teacher. If you are reading it in English, thank a soldier. You remember that?
Yes.
And you gave me some little piece of paper where you wrote your appreciation and interpretation of that. I'm going to give it back to you, hopefully, if I find them today, because I don't want to keep all this stuff with me. And this is the best answer among all the answers I got. It divided in two. It said scenario one, number one, English-speaking people have invaded half the countries, and thanks to soldiers, half the people of the world speak English. Scenario number two, considering asking an American kid, I like the kid, they should be thankful to the soldiers who defended their country and did not allow invaders to change the language to some other language. There are lots of Americans who are grown up, have beard, but kind of think and behave like kids as well. That's what Khrushchev said. Anybody remembers the name Khrushchev? Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 and a half. Khrushchev was the Secretary General of the Communist Party and of Soviet Union. And he said, Americans are bearded kids. Something like that. He wasn't speaking English, he was speaking Russian, and I don't know Russian.
It was very similar to Ahmadinejad in terms that he was always
He
saying,
was similar, yes, to Ahmadinejad. Like he was a showman. He took his shoes in United Nations General Assembly to make people listen to him. I'm going to do the same here. Okay, page. And who did that? Well, thank you very much, Khatere, Vida, Kana, Alaya Purya, who is not here anymore. He left, unfortunately, and Tamerlan Muradov. I think that's the best answer that I read. You agree with that? Good. 2 scenarios. It was very, very well done. Good job.
I have a question.
Oh, yep.
Was that for Marx? Because I don't think we were
No.
involved in the...
Do you want some marks?
No, I'm just wondering, just to make
Okay,
sure we're not
pause.
missing anything.
No, that was just.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we have to give marks, but fortunately, everything here is not for marks. Pantheism. We talked about pantheism, but I believe we went fast, and we didn't really went to. I remember to the definition. I gave a definition, but out of what I had in mind at that moment. So I decided I'm going to go check the dictionary and bring it to you. I have a little Oxford Dictionary of Current English, little one. Good, because there's only 2 definitions. 1, belief that God is in all nature. But God in capital letter. I would write nature in capital letter if you put God in capital letter. Otherwise, I would say belief that God, lowercase, is in all nature, lowercase. Because the author who worked for the Oxford Dictionary of Current English, he had his God capital letter in mind, but nature not capital letter in mind. So a pantheist is either both or not, because it goes together. God is not something out of nature, it's part of nature. So either you put both in capital letter or not. And second, worship that admits or tolerates all gods. Sure, it shows the openness of pantheism. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, I can accept your God and yours too and yours too. So that's why you told me. I say I am Jewish, Muslim,
it's option
Christian,
to all other
atheist,
religions.
and I can do pantheism.
Most religions.
That's how I came to pantheism, by saying that I'm all of them, and I'm none of them actually, because I'm all of them because I respect all of them. I'm none of them because, as I said, those books, holy books, were written long time ago, and we talked about Quran, and I apologize that I say things that weren't perfect. For example, about the Quran, we have a discussion. I said the Quran was gathered by Osman during Osman time, and some of my friends say that no, it was written during Muhammad time. So, and then it was gathered, and I said, well, even today in the age of information, we're not sure if one information travels properly to get from one place to another place. Just imagine 1400 years ago. It's hard to keep information transfer from one person to other person, from one time to other time, exactly the way it was. Look at the Bible, for example. Bible, we have 4 Gospels. Bible, well, we have many more Gospels that in the 3rd century, if I'm not mistaken, but anyway, long time after, they decided to keep only 4 of them. So you can Google and see by yourself. It's not something that I invented. I learned like you can. Coming back to pantheism, I added here, pantheism, in my view, is, in my view, the essence of what I call the Iranic culture. Again, what's the difference? Why do I say Iranic? Because I want to differentiate with Iranian. Iranian might mean, and today it means citizen of a country called Iran, that is of a political entity called Iran. So that would be Iranian. In order not to confuse this, I said Iranian culture. So in Iran we have 2 cultures. One is the Islamic culture, the other I propose is the Iranic culture. Most of the time these 2 cultures do not agree with each other, have conflict with each other. It's a schizophrenic situation. Let me finish that and get to it. I added to these 2 definition, which I can accept, this one, conceiving. And the reason I say conceiving, because the first one was I believe. You know, belief is different than conceiving. Belief that God is all nature, or conceiving, it's a conception. Creator and creation as one and the same. That whether also, in my view, or add to the 2 other definitions to make a more complete situation of pantheism. As I said before, pan is all, and theos. Theos is Greek, means God, and is of course the maktab, the school. Thank you. So God not being external to our existence in pantheism, and as a result of the 3 above definitions, you can conclude and see by yourself that pantheism automatically becomes a religion of tolerance, love, and peace, and a religion of protecting our environment. The nature that surrounds us, and which is a manifestation of God. God, Italy, whoever, whatever God means. It becomes a religion of social and political harmony and green peace economic building. So green economic and also peace economic building. Because harming another person, another being, or not as being, is harming nature, which is God. It's part of nature. So now I have here my idea. My idea is we always go back to, okay, when did it start? Aristotle talked about the first engine. And it goes back and back and back, and then so God was the one who all of a sudden on board and created this world. However, past, we go always to the past because we are born, we grow up, and then we die. For us, there is a present and past and future. I don't think for God there is a past, present, and future. Just imagine that everything is there, and we are traveling somehow. So just imagine. Imagine all the and you. Okay. Let's take the. I'm going to explain why I say creation has occurred or will occur, because we don't know past and future are the same. In our future, not in our past. I'm sorry, I'm reading also my pantheism here. But it's very much also the Iranic pantheism. I'm Iranic. It's ironic, but imagine that we're talking God is equal creator, right?
Yeah.
People can accept it. Okay. So, in other words, when that creation started, how did it start? Okay. And we try to actually discover that. That's what human beings are trying to do. One of the most recent theories is not that it was Adam and Eve, but it was Big Bang theory, right? You heard about Big Bang theory, right? Yes?
Yes.
Yes. So working. Now, imagine, talking about infinity when we're talking about God, right? Imagine that we progress, we human beings. And why do I say we human beings? Because the only people that I talked about God, who talked with me about God, were human beings. I tried to talk with my dog, he never said anything about God, although the names are very close to each other, dog and God. But he never said anything to me. Only human beings talk about God with me. So there's a connection between us and God, that's for sure. I talked with the tree never replied to me. I say, do you know what's God? No answer. It's only, now logically there's a connection between us and the idea of God. Now suppose that this enigma, because we don't know what is God, right? Whatever is religion, you still cannot find exactly what's God, except he was the creator. But what was he doing before he created us? You know, these are things that are difficult for us to answer. Imagine that, you know, we increase knowledge. I told you that one of the criteria of Iranic culture is, one was love and keeping love and affection. The other one was knowledge, increasing knowledge, work on knowledge. And apparently, like Prophet Muhammad has said, if knowledge is whatever in the space, the Iranian will go and get it. Persian will go and get it. This is something I read, I heard. Forget about Iran, but human being. Suppose we have infinite knowledge. If we have infinite knowledge, then we know what God is, what creation is, what creator is. And if we know fully what creation and creator is, we're almost like creator ourselves. We know that much, infinite knowledge. That's one attribute of God somehow. So then, that's when we, human beings, if we're still alive and not killed by all the merchants and gun sellers, we be God somehow. And that's when we create the world in the future, not in the past. Well, I know what I'm saying is kind of bizarre, but it's not really more bizarre than any other religion, any other cosmology in all the religions. So, now I take questions. Yes, but before you, who was raising the hand?
Sorry, I just wanted to make a comment.
Go.
Like you were saying that there is like the Iranic versus Islam.
Yes.
Saying the problem exists because Islam teaches you not to accept, like the person who's like living in, I don't know, some kind of statue and stuff.
Okay.
And Islam, the pantheism or the Iranic is to say, teaches you to accept everything and everybody, every kind of person. And in Islam, it's not acceptable.
Okay, well, that's why I said,
Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment.
Where did you get that? When Islam is not acceptable?
Yeah, so do you accept
you
gays?
started it, okay, good.
No,
No,
it's
please
not.
do it.
I mean, you get your facts.
Exactly.
No, it's lakum dinukum waliya din. I mean, the Prophet didn't kill his own uncle who was worshipping idols.
Yes.
So if he were to not accept anyone, he would not have accepted his own uncle,
Well,
who
what is
was an
irrelevant?
idol worshipper.
But he killed others probably, who were not.
Okay. I want to
Probably.
interfere. I want to interfere. No more comment. Questions. I get questions.
I mean, it's la farqa bayna ajami or Arabi. Okay, so if you really speak the Arabic, so get the facts straight before you start talking. Every religion that is created by God, which is whether Christianity, Judaism, or Islamic, they accept people.
Okay.
Right.
Well, the problem is,
I have a question.
May I say something, sir? The only problem for Iranian people is because I know my friend is from Iran. The new regime actually oppressed them so much that they went against the religion that they lost themselves as well.
Right.
That's the problem. Other than that, they do not put their straight, objective mind to research what the reality is.
And the religion here is not the issue. It's the individuals or humanity. Do we accept each other? Because God has nothing to do with who do we worship. That's between.
That's the problem.
No, well, that's it.
Okay.
That's it, right?
No.
So if you're
Wait,
referring
we're
to
talking
religion
here.
and God,
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you.
that means
No,
you
let me
created-
finish. Let me finish.
No, that means
Sorry. Can
that
I
means
interrupt
the
you for a moment?
creator does not, okay, in Allah Jameen, when you think of Jannah, God is beautiful and God is beauty. That means everything He created around Him is beautiful. If not, He wouldn't have created it.
That's not the
No,
problem. Is it's
Okay.
not the I'm not saying the problem is in the religion. Listen,
Listen
the
to
problem
me.
is
No,
not in the
listen to me.
religion.
Just listen to me. So this,
I
what I
just
just said, what I just said, is from Islam.
Okay, it's
From
not Islam.
Christianity.
I
And then what the
accept
Prophet
Islam. I
is
accept
the
Islam.
same thing. So if you're talking about
Excuse me.
Iranian culture,
Stop.
and says this, that's why the Iranian culture, that has
No,
nothing to
you're
do
letting
with
her
Iranian
talk.
culture.
Stop, otherwise I won't give you back